Welcome to day 75 of TFIF 365. And today I want to talk about why adopting a supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free perspective is the only key to our collective liberation. As the events inside one of the most privileged families plays out on an international stage, this is a great example on a micro level of what I mean when I say no one escapes the chaos and destruction of systems, institutions, and policies rooted in white supremacy unharmed. Hell, you can even look no further than Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, one of the richest individuals in the world, and he's still chaotic. He still cannot find peace. He still, with all the business he's quote unquote running, still finds the time to be thin-skinned on a social media app. When I look at what is playing out in the UK, in London, amongst the royal family, this is not, for me, just a story of salacious gossip. Where is she? What happened to her? It is a microcosm of the macrocosms of systems, institutions, and policies designed to privilege the few at the expense of the many. But it's also just one side of the coin, because the other side of the coin is that to benefit from those systems, institutions, and policies designed to privilege the few at the expense of the many, the beneficiaries still have to toe the line. They are not liberated. What I've seen play out over the last few days are family dynamics rooted in insecurity, rooted in a lack of connection, rooted in a lack of respect, rooted in a lack of understanding of the value of being transparent and authentic with people who care about your existence. A lack of understanding that they're actually employees of the UK government. And for the four major leaders of that enterprise to not be working and yet expect the people, the shareholders who invest in that company not to raise concerns and have questions, shows a systematic lack of understanding how one is used by the same systems, institutions, and policies. I can extend a lot of grace. I don't have to accept it, but I can extend a lot of grace to an individual whose only role is to marry, have children, to propagate the lineage. That's it. And yet to be put out as the symbol of this thing. When I think about William, his whole life is dictated to him. He does not have freedom. He doesn't have the freedom that I have. He may have all the money. He may have all the connections. He may have all the privileges. But one thing he does not have that I will fight a bitch over is peace of mind and liberty to move around my world with limited funds, but it's still my world, and I still have the ability to freely do that without having to get the input or sanction by others. There is no freedom. There is no freedom for oppressors. They are as captivated as they're oppressed. Let me say that again, because I never said that before. There is no freedom for the oppressor. They are just as captivated as the oppressed. The harm is different. The chaos and destruction is different. But there is no freedom. If you If your role is to oppress, then your whole life is spent trying to maintain that oppression as a way of maintaining your life. And even if you come to realize that being an oppressor is not something you want to do, the systems, institutions, and policies that you've been able to leverage to this point won't easily let you go. You can't just walk away without losing everything. So I want people to think about, yeah, it's interesting to watch what's playing out, but it is also important to understand that what is playing out is the same thing, just looks different, but it's the same formula, the same strategies they were all contending with. No, and this is why it's important that no one is free until everyone is free, that we get there together or not at all. This has to be a collective effort, even from the most privileged, to be able to see how they're being harmed. This is also why I started the White Dude Rehab community. You can find that link in the bio, because the most privileged are starting to see that they too are harmed by the systems, institutions, and policies designed to privilege them at the expense of the many. Until tomorrow, peace.